Welcome to my sanctuary. Welcome to Palo Santo.
Can you dance?
The inspiration for the world of Palo Santo kind of has come from so many different places. You know, growing up, I really loved sci-fi and fantasy. I read so many fantasy like novels and stories and stuff, and you know, I was really a big fan of Margaret Atwood, Ursula Le Guin, like these female writers, and they would write these kind of like dystopian, almost like feminist takes on future societies. You know, I love Star Trek and Star Wars, and we all love, you know, like Fifth Element. I think that all kind of like went into my brain like along the way, and then when I sat down and was like, all right, what should this next album be? I knew that I wanted to create this fantasy world that all the music could go along with. So I kind of just went back over all the stuff that's inspired me through my life and kind of tried to put bits together to make this world like a quilt, like a patchwork quilt of all these things that I've been thinking about for a long time. I've always been really inspired by, you know, religious imagery, and I think for a few different reasons, because first of all, it's so powerful and so dramatic, and I love a bit of drama, and also I grew up near a church, and I myself, I'm not religious, but I just found it really fascinating, and you know, and also how like historically the church has shut out gay people, and I'm kind of like doing my little bit to reclaim that, and sort of I like subverting it, you know, to it's mainly just because it's fun. I get a thrill out of it. I think also, you know, when I was kind of finding my identity, like forging my identity in my like early 20s, I spent a lot of time going out to clubs, to like gay clubs, and it felt like, you know, that was our church in a way. Like we'd all meet on the dance floor, and you know, that was like the act of communion with each other. First album's called Communion.
Communion. Spoiler alert.
There we go. So it's a common thread. Yeah. I actually had a conversation with my therapist maybe like halfway through the album process, and I realized that I was like holding on to all this anger about like exes, like stuff from my childhood, like family stuff, like all this kind of like deep kind of anger that I hadn't really like let out. And it was also like it took us a long time for the album to really get going, and I felt like we were really stalled and nothing was really working. And then I realized that I guess the anger in a way like was sort of like a bit of a fuel to the fire to like really, you know, get the music done and like get the visuals the way that I want them to be, and to really just like keep going. And when I'm listening to the album now, the song that makes me the most uncomfortable when I listen to it, because I'm like, I said some things that like feel a bit raw, is probably Lucky Escape, just because, you know, I was trying to like make myself feel better with that song, trying to be like, yeah, I got out of that relationship and I'm much better off without him, and like I made a lucky escape, you know. But which is in part like, you know, that's true, but also it's one of those things that you do like when you try and make yourself feel better, like you're trying to like rewrite your own narrative.
And the memories are filling up smoke. You remember me and I start to choke.
We all need a chance to escape, right? Or like to go to a place where things are like more shiny, more glamorous, more exciting. And for me, that's what pop music always was. And so often I was relating to these women who felt like larger than life and felt like they were in command of their sexuality, of their bodies, and like they had something to say, and they wore such amazing outfits. And I looked at them and I was like, I want to be like that, you know? Especially for a young gay guy. Like for me, I felt like I wasn't, you know, the men that were out there like making music in the charts were just not, I didn't feel like they would like me. I felt like I couldn't hang out with them. They would probably like be, I don't know, like I just didn't feel safe. Whereas with the girls and the women, so much of their music and their kind of identities were like kind of shaped by queer culture, you know? Like I didn't even know it back then, but like now that I'm older, I'm looking back on it, I'm like, oh, I get this, I get it why we were drawn to this, why so many gay men like share this love.